whatever milestones that Black people make against hate, it ends up benefiting all the other people of color. I can't see what his end game is. The Republican Party is the party of racism, is the party of white supremacy, is the party of hate. This is wrong, and it needs to stop.
Everybody wants to go back and drag that piece of history up, but they don't want to go back and deal with what their ancestors did to the indigenous people and to Black people in this country. You got to go. And you got billionaires talking about going to space and Jeff Bezos. Go! Never come back. I hope you get lost. This man has lost his mind.
Boom! Come on, girlfriend! What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. And as always, I am the co-host and co-producer of the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And I'm a two-time Canadian Ethnic Media Association award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner. And it is live on Saturday night, cold Saturday night here in Toronto. It's like November 19th. It feels like it's February 19th in Toronto. And I walk around and people say, oh, you're such a big guy. You're such a guy. I go, when the wind is blowing at this time of year, I am full of holes. So I feel like very holes. And you know, one other thing I have to just share with everybody, as you watch the introduction and our wonderful ladies, Aisha, Jill, and LaLa are in the background. And whenever Jill drops her line about go, 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 don't watch your back, LaLa always smiles. She always smiles when she sees that. So I'm going, I don't know if we can ever change that introduction because LaLa's not going to smile anymore. I don't know, but I don't know what to do. So, you know, family, we're going to have, as usual, epic conversations. We're officially now talking about State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and LaLa. It is official, family. So it's Aisha, Jill, and LaLa. So get used to it. You got a few, like, it's not a long word. LaLa. LaLa. Very easy. Not a long word. So let us bring the stars of this epic conversation to the digital platform. Aisha K, Jill D, and LaLa.
Hi. I just love to hear Jill. I get tickled every time. Jill.
Go.
You know, and family, it's too bad you don't hear our pre-show conversations. And Jill was doing such a good story, and we had to cut it off. And LaLa goes, "I gotta hear that one. I gotta hear that one." So, ladies, what's been going on? How we doing?
Good.
Have a good
week. You guys are cold. It's actually a little windy here. You know, I'm just sending a link to someone for the show, guys. So that is because I was trying to get it out there tonight.
Yeah, well, I sent it through you. I sent it through your DM.
For YouTube?
I DM'd you. Yeah, the YouTube link. That'll let people see it on YouTube Live. So before we get going, I just want to say hello to Destiny Savory, who's from the Toronto area, and wonderful lady. And she's saying severe weather alert here in Toronto now. I know in Buffalo they've been demolished.
Wow.
Buffalo's been demolished.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's
2 people
really
died just trying to clean up the snow.
Yes, that's right.
What?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. But of course, they got the football team out to play.
You know you're not gonna miss that money.
So what's been going on over the past week?
I kind of had a little bit of a migraine this week, so I'm feeling good to even be here tonight. Those things wear me out.
Oh no.
It's about to be a long years. Oh my God.
Oh, don't easy now. We'll get to it as we go more. No worries. Yeah, it's gonna be a long next few years. We'll get into that. Jill, what's been going on? Jill's doing her thing, so I want to interrupt. Jill was talking about she did some baking this week, so that's good to hear because I hadn't heard about any Jill Jones creations lately.
Actually, I think I'm okay. We haven't. Just trying to stay a little bit more occupied, and I had to stop watching a lot of news this week because, as I mentioned earlier, I just felt incredibly betrayed, and I was starting to snipe and, be in supermarkets and stores and talking indirectly about the situation so other people could hear how angry I was. I was talking to my daughter, and she's like, "You're just saying this because you want everybody to know that you're really angry." And I was like, "You're right. I am." A very passive aggressive way of, so it, like, you suffer, so you want everybody else to feel it, right? So I got
They're going to make sure that we do.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's really crazy. So I just was looking at Aisha's posts and LaLa's this week, and kind of I was so thrown by the Merrick Garland thing, which we'll talk about. But
we'll talk about it.
All of it is a lot, and all of it.
Okay, let me lighten up the conversation before we get really intense. So, Jill, I was going to mention before in the pre-show that I got some food exposure this week. So I'll bring it up here. So my closest business associate and closest friend, him and his wife, run an online Black Canadian magazine called BuyBlacks.com, and it's Canada's Black Canada's number one online magazine. And it's got one more day to go tomorrow. They have their Black Restaurant Week.
Oh,
and
nice.
I went to a restaurant on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and also today. So I went to 4 different restaurants, and I had things like, I don't know if we can show it. Says it. Let me see.
What is that? Is that bread?
No, I'm trying to see if it'll show. No, it's not showing great. Oh, there we go. A little bit better. That is a jerk chicken sandwich on a croissant.
Oh, wow.
With plantain.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds delicious.
So that was one of the things I had.
So you guys have restaurant week going. That's great to hear.
Yes.
That,
and this is rum cheesecake.
Oh, wow. I would love to have a rum cheesecake.
God,
so
be on the treadmill for 3 hours.
And it was crazy because we had some of the restaurants on for the last 2 weeks ago, and the lady who does the rum cheesecake came on, and everyone who was watching the live show was telling how great it is. I'm going, where have I been? Like, everyone's saying how great it is. I hadn't been. So we went there. Was that on Wednesday night? We went there, and wow, the jerk chicken sandwich served on a croissant with Caesar salad dressing as a dressing.
Delicious.
It was so nice. And then the night before we went.
Were there anchovies in that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but what did happen the night before, we went to an African restaurant and had grilled okra.
Oh, I love okra.
Yeah.
I love it. Fantastic.
I'm allergic to it.
Oh,
well,
thank you, Aisha.
I'm allergic to okra.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, and was it Thursday? We went to a place. I'll show you. We had red snapper. If anyone's into the fish snail, see if I can show a quick picture of it. This is a picture of I actually bought a 7-inch rum cheesecake.
Of course.
That would be so deadly for me.
It was.
My grandmother makes rum cake at Christmas.
Does she?
I love rum cake. I love rum pound cake and cheesecake. I love it.
So see if I can get it here. Let's see. One of the national dishes of Jamaica is ackee and saltfish and fried dumpling. So you put the ackee on the little pieces of dumpling and eat as an appetizer.
So nice.
Oh, so this, I don't know, where can I show? I don't want to show their front here. These ladies. Well, excuse the lady's bosom, but this is the snapper.
Oh,
that looks really good.
See if I can get it.
How did they make it?
Clear. Yeah.
There we go.
Good.
How did they make it?
Don't know. It was good though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was good.
I mean, like baked or steamed
steamed.
Fabulous.
And this is a piece that another restaurant. This is a piece of rum cake served with
You got me.
Mango.
I'm going to make a rum
What's-
cake. I haven't had one in ages, and I have some nice rum in the cupboard. So,
There
yeah.
you go.
You know,
Mhm.
Yeah, it
you can
was.
make that for Thanksgiving. Now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and you know what? Actually,
My
I'll leave it
grandmother's
with
rum
you.
cake will get you drunk. It will. It will. I mean, just one slice of cake will get you drunk, and she makes rum balls too. And pop one of those, and it's like automatically you just feel the warmth in your mouth. You feel like if somebody
Not
lights a
bad.
match in front of my face, I'm gone.
Oh my goodness! But
And so,
yeah,
my grandfather makes a really strong eggnog with really heavy rum. So having those two for dessert.
Oh my God.
Well, bourbon is huge here in Kentucky, so
It is.
we decided to
yes.
make bourbon balls for the very first time last year. And y'all, when I tell you they weren't bourbon balls, they were bourbon tennis balls. They was like that.
Oh my God. Yes.
So good, though. So good.
Oh my goodness, that
I said,
is
you have to make
hilarious.
them every year now. Our big tennis balls of bourbon.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my
Right?
goodness. And Blue Rains, hello, Blue Rains. How you doing?
Hello.
I hope you're good wherever you are. This is good. But yeah, so yeah, the restaurant week, I'm like, we even went to a Caribbean or Jamaican buffet today. Oh my goodness, the food was so good. It was so good. But that African place, that okra, like I had a bowl of this okra. I didn't want to eat anything else. It was so good.
Oh
Like,
my
and that was an
God.
appetizer. It was so good.
That's a
And
big deal
Amazing.
because
And they had,
you either mess up okra or you can make
Yeah.
It's not
True.
one in the middle. You can't do a middle thing.
I know.
yeah, we also had coconut rice with
Ooh.
scallion. Mm. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we have a show to do. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess people don't want to hear about our eating habits. So let's get right to it. So another quiet week, but let's start it off.
Okay.
Republicans scrape back control of the U.S. House.
Mm.
By the skin of their teeth, right?
Mm.
He just
Barely.
sticks my stomach, but okay.
Well, it wasn't so much a red wave as it was like a blue trickle that
Right.
happened in all these other places, in like not the top of the ballot races, but the down ballot races. You saw more. What was it like? Democrats won 12 governorships
Right.
in Michigan with Democratic control of House, Senate, and the governor. That's a big thing. But again, it's funny. I was looking when all this stuff started happening. And of course, you have your quote unquote progressives blaming Black people again. But the truth is 55% of white women voted for Republicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much so you got social people, news anchors talking about, well, when they're single, they vote Democrat, but when they get married, they vote Republican. So let's get them all married. I mean, that was I couldn't even.
I saw, was that a clip someone on Fox?
That was JD Vance that said that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw.
Thing is,
it was
nobody wants to marry them.
Right.
It's not the popular settee in the room.
So
They're not.
So is this basically mean we're going to have gridlock for the next
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more madness.
Oh, they don't plan on doing any bills. I mean, they already said it.
No, we
Marjorie
have a
Taylor Greene,
government
the first filing they're doing
dysfunctional.
is an impeachment.
Yeah.
Right.
Marjorie
Looks
Taylor
like they're-
Greene said on Monday she's filing articles of impeachment. That's what they
Right.
plan to do. It's like Hunter Biden is. I don't understand this investigation when he doesn't work for the government.
No, it's
And-
As a private citizen, I think it's pretty disgusting that means they could come after anybody they feel like it for whatever
they
reason.
plan to.
And this
Yeah,
is
and they try
wrong.
to throw his dad into the mix, but at the time frame that they're talking about with these things that they're investigating, Joe Biden was a private citizen. He wasn't vice president anymore.
I just have a funny feeling that something's going to happen to some of them in the House, and it's going to revert back to the Dems. Just a feeling.
I hope you're right.
So
Well, I think they're going to find maybe all they really need are like 5 who don't deal with that bull coming from Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt
Right.
Gaetz, and Lauren Bubblehead. That's what's going to happen. And then once they do that, Dems will actually have control.
We'll take
because they'll have
Colorado
the
off my
American-
list. I won't be going with stupid people.
That's
Yeah.
about 600, y'all. I'm sorry. I think my man conceded way too early. I really do. You know, if it would have been in the other shoes, you know, well, how it was going to go. She was going to go down screaming and hollering and crying.
Oh, but you know, they all want to go into and take the high road. We're going to concede and teach them how to do it. I don't believe in that at all.
But he's conceding. But here's the thing: the state has to do an automatic recount because it was only 600 votes.
Is that right? So even if
yes,
that's a good
it was less than 1,000, which triggers their automatic recount. So even if he's like, oh no, I'm not going to do that, because the thing that he can do is he can ask for a recount and pay for it. But they already triggered the state. It already triggered the state's automatic. So there's going to be a recount. We probably won't hear a whole lot about it, but yeah.
So what if that recount shows that he is the winner? What would happen then? I've never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Right.
It would go to court because remember, it's akin to what happened with Bush v. Gore.
Oh yeah.
And Florida did that recount, and it showed that Gore had actually won, and they went to the Supreme Court.
Well, don't put no faith in that.
Yeah, I think with this being because this is a House seat, it might go to their federal court in Colorado, and they might have to look. Right. So I mean, they're going to give it to her, and she's going to make a mess of it, and the Coloradans will get what they deserve.
Right. She's done nothing for them. She's done nothing but earn basically $200,000 off of them, and she's not passed one piece of legislation for her people. They talk about.
They sure do.
Yeah, and it's really just kind of alarming. It's like, here's the thing that people don't understand: you can blame whatever party's in power and say, well, we need a change. You do realize, and the other party that accepts the change of power is like, oh, great, we're doing this and this, and this got done and this got done, without telling people and being honest that no, these were bills that were passed 2 years ago that just start taking effect while we have control. So it looks like we've done something that we actually haven't done. And every time this happens, Democrats need to go when they start all their investigations. Every day, Democrats need to say, they need to file a bill, and they need to say, hey, we filed this bill, and they won't even let us debate it on the floor. They would not even bring it to a vote. And they need to keep reminding people that we tried to do this for you, and they won't even let us vote on it. They tried to do this.
That's the whole thing. We're right back to where we are. Mm-hmm. Democrats don't, let's just say it, they don't. They act like, oh, we're just going to teach them to be good little children. We're going to do that.
Exactly.
No, I need you to get dirty, please. Would you please get dirty? I'm not asking you to get corrupt, but I'm asking you to get on the playing field and fight.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, I just sometimes start to feel like they're just collecting paychecks, and that they, don't, and then these visits on MSNBC and CNN I don't watch anymore at all. MSN sparse, very little now. I like Ari Melber when he has all the rap stuff going on, or musicians, but the rest of them, and I've just gotten very tired of the rhetoric. Although I did hear Nicole Wallace on Deadline the other day going for whoever it was and saying, what do you mean this is not happening? What do you mean it's getting dragged out? And like the goalposts just keep getting pushed. So for them to win the House and us to have to deal with Rand Paul, who, come on, guys. I mean, it's a little bit suspicious. Are people brain dead in Kentucky? Are they just zombies? Yes. Because the reality is, like, how did Rand Paul win so quickly? Like, literally, it's like nobody cares. And I really do believe that it's because of the high drug addiction rates that are in Kentucky. I really believe that.
No, it's because of the racism. It's the racism.
No, they've weeded out a lot of their white people too. They are zombies. My brother was driving through and told me.
Not so much, and that's a big push for him.
Wow. It's just weird to me because I have family members there who don't vote for him. So I'm having a problem understanding who. And I'm here to tell you that I believe that Rand Paul and them cheat because that's Saudi money over there. That's why apartments now are costing $950,000 in Covington. Why?
Yeah.
Why, when you have people who make like $4,000 a year less, that's their income. And then you have, it's Saudi money from their horse racing. We need all of them out for a minute. You know, it's like, have you ever like been cooking and there's just so much stuff going on in the kitchen and your mom or somebody goes, everybody out.
Yeah.
That's what America needs to do for a minute. It's like all your investments, Elon, take a hike, you, this one, Rupert, all of you out. We need a minute to just kind of like collect ourselves. Otherwise, because the reality is we're not getting anywhere. It's just one circular reference. I feel like we are trapped in an Excel document.
Yeah. But some of this is also on the Dems because you look at the money that they spent on some of those races. They did not spend on that race in Kentucky the way that they should have.
To get rid of two toes.
They didn't spend in Wisconsin the way they should have because Mandela Barnes should have won. They didn't spend. Johanna Hayes here literally almost lost her seat.
But it's pathetic that we have people. But Aisha, I love you to death, and I'm just like, how much money do we have to keep paying? There's just some things called common sense. You know what I'm saying? They let Wrenchfoot back in office in Georgia, and it's just that is on them. It didn't matter how much money got thrown. Marcus Flowers didn't have a chance. Everybody knew she threatened his office. She did all sorts of nasty stuff. There's nobody to do the checks and balances like qualified. You threaten this person. We have it on tape yet again. There's nobody. There is nobody minding anything that's going on. And then the DOJ, I mean, come on.
When I look at
they do nothing.
But see, when I look at the race here, the guy that Johanna Hayes
come after small people, little people.
First of all, they put a black man against her. First of all, they put a black man Republican up against her. But
a good-looking one.
The ad for him started.
You know, we all know
a year ago.
And smarter than Herschel Walker.
She started running ads 2 weeks. 2 weeks up until she didn't have money. 2 weeks up until election. That's when I saw the first Johanna Hayes commercial. It's
my God.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Crazy.
Yeah. Yes, but the guy that she ran against had ads on starting like last November.
Well, Karen Bass showed everybody here, and you guys know that I'm still not 100 with her. But the reality that stupid fidget spent $100 million on a campaign. That bad. What do you have planned for Los Angeles?
Oh, and
that's a little bit weird, right?
Rich realtors.
Yeah, you've got like a FEMA camp. Yeah, it's like you want to put everybody in like a FEMA camp style thing. And for a minute, I was like, okay, but there was nothing about creating another housing department that had a judge or somebody to oversee what things were going on. Nothing in those plans. None of that was talked about. Basically, carting bodies off somewhere and putting them far out into Palmdale, which is crazy. It wasn't like we're going to get people mental health. We're going to build them little houses. How about the fact that most of them can't live in a house anymore? They're so freaked out. There's so much work that needs to be done.
There's a specific corner down in San Pedro, and that's a suburb of LA, for those who don't know, that when there was too many people down in the LA area, they would just put them in the back of the police car, come down to this one corner and say, get out, here you go. And they would just dump them.
San Pedro's could be dangerous.
It is dangerous now
because they're not there.
I can no longer run that route. It's nothing but tent cities there.
I know, and it's not far from where all the shipping things come in, so it's really not great. I remember getting lost down there. In where all the ships come in.
Yes.
And one day I took a wrong turn and I was inside where all these barges come in. You got to remember, there are 138 containers on one big barge. So imagine how big that is. It's huge.
Yep.
So not even 138. I think there's more. My husband told me it was like 1,000 or something. It's crazy.
It's huge.
So it's stacked up. Imagine all the. I was lost. I was started to panic actually for a while because I was like, get out of here. And why is it so desolate in here? It was scary. That has to be the scariest place, I think, here in LA. If you get lost down there in San Pedro, inside where they bring all your stuff from China, all that crap.
Right. Yeah,
all that junk. It looks like a junkyard, let me tell you. All that frustrating as hell because it's unhealthy. There's a lot of smokestacks. There's a lot of really bad air quality, and that's where they're dropping them off.
Yeah. So that's all of his plan is. And I could not believe how many emails I was getting from people within my own, industry. Like, we believe he's really going to do something. But it was always the people who are on the TV shows, selling LA, all the people who think everybody is like them. And I just couldn't believe how okay, he's lining your pockets. You've got something involved in this.
But I almost fell for it too, only because there were other friends that were all of a sudden talking up Rick, whatever his name was, Rick Rubin. No, Rick Ross. What was his name? Rick Laszlo?
It's Rick
Caruso. Sorry. Rick Ross.
Ross, Caruso, Rick Rubin. Okay, this is not a music
I'll say
show,
Rick
right?
Rubin or Rick Ross. But Karen Bass, at least maybe the honesty thing where she goes, she's right. It's not going to be taken care of overnight because it didn't get here overnight.
Right.
And I guess we just have to be realistic.
But I'd rather her tell me that
I
than
agree.
lie.
It's true.
Don't
I think you're
lie
right.
to me.
I know. You're right.
Okay, we've lost Aisha. Aisha's back. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
But it was crazy that
Wi-Fi.
$100 million he could have just donated. and you know what would have been a really novel idea to go, I'm running for mayor and I'm just going to donate $100 million right now. I'm not even going to put one. I want this to stop. And I'll do a debate and that's it.
And then how much he would have won?
I think he would have won.
He would have won.
But to throw and sink money and basically burn it and you're going, wow, you really like to spend money and we're about to give you our money so you can spend other people's money. If you spend your own money that way, how the hell are you going to spend ours?
That's right.
For real. That's not even discerning. It's not even.
It's just another billionaire's game. I was telling
I'm
Dr.
sick of billionaires, guys.
I feel like we're in Clash the Titans, where all the gods sit up there and we're going to play this game. And they put all these people on there and they don't down here. They're just wanting their power up there.
Because it's them. They're playing games with each other. Well, now I run a whole town. I run a whole country. Yeah. What do you have? And I'm going to be the next trillionaire. And I'm going to be the next oh, you laid off 7,000? I'm going to lay off 10,000. That's, Jeff Bezos, who sorely needs a stylist to get him out of the 1970s. Y'all saw that outfit. I still have not recovered. and his girlfriend needs to stop trying to look like Kimberly Guilfoyle, or Kimberly Guilfoyle needs to stop trying to look like Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. It's Aisha, really kind of weird.
Aisha, go ahead.
Yeah.
No,
I just can't believe that Sarah Huckabee Sanders won.
Why? That shouldn't be surprising. That doesn't surprise me.
I sit there and I'm like, they really. I think for me, it's I understand it. I get it all. I process it all, but it's still unbelievable that people would vote for someone who is not qualified to do anything. They know she can't tell the truth. She spent 3 years lying. I'm just amazed at and the gerrymandering, of course, hasn't helped much at all.
It's crazy.
It's made it insane. Like when they were analyzing how Ron DeSantis won the state, they were like,
it's illegal, guys.
Because he gerrymandered the districts so much.
But it was illegal. So the question is, like I was saying, who is going to do something like Katie Porter? Damn near got through by the skin of her teeth. I mean, it was like, literally, Katie was gone for a moment there.
Yeah.
Well, there's got a comment here from Regina saying, anyone see Herschel Walker's recap of Friday night movie plot a few days ago? The one where he says he wants to be a werewolf? Dear God.
I saw the one where he was moonwalking just yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. And Bone Thugs and Harmony also saw it.
Oh, God.
For our listeners, he was dancing to Bone Thugs and Harmony Crossroads.
He was.
And so Crazy Bone, Crazy Bone retweeted it and said, "What the hell is this?"
It was so cringy that when you're embarrassed, Schadenfreude. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like he was doing some kind of shuck and jive type Running Man thing, but in slow motion.
Step and fetch it.
Yeah, and
shuck and jive, all of them.
Exactly what it was.
You know what though? The fact that he sat there and said, did you know that werewolves can kill vampires? I know that. Vampires don't exist. Dude. This is who you want your leader? No, I feel like Black Panther. Is this your king?
Hey.
And Lindsey Graham and
where that crazy billionaire just reinstated.
Yes,
Donald
we'll
Trump.
get to that. We'll get to that. We'll
I
get
didn't
to that.
see.
Yes.
He what?
He's back on Twitter.
Okay.
That's okay, because we can really go. Remember, free speech, right?
No, baby. You'll get blocked in the heartbeat.
Exactly.
So true. But I'm going to have to take a shot.
I sense a midnight dragging tonight.
I'm not going to lose my shot. Like, from Hamilton. I'm not going to miss my shot. I'm going to take my shot and say what I need to say and get in and get out.
So since now the Republicans are going to be ruling the House, is anything going to get done with the country other than them holding commissions?
What'd you call them? The Rumpelstiltskins?
Who said
that? Because they sure, our country is just in such a state that you have to laugh at it. It's shameful.
The more I know, the less I understand.
I mean, who is it that's got rid of the Martin Luther King? They don't even want him to be taught.
Duncan in Virginia. He wants to remove Martin Luther King's name out the books. Thank God the board of,
and pretty soon they're going to remove all the black kids from the school.
That.
They're going to remove the black kids next.
But
All right.
So we're watching this before our eyes. This is what is so upsetting and makes me want to throw up. It's like we're the kid behind that glass, from The Help, where she's like, and we're trying to get our country back, and we can't.
Well, the universe provided the answer to the question when people used to always say, how, you've got to remember what the Nazis did was one of the most horrific forms of genocide. And maybe, yes, we know there were other things. Stalin did things, but this is talking about in modern society. This was happening where there was, access to radio, letters, mail carriers, people to tell other people, and nobody did. And what is so crazy is that everybody sat back like, how could that have happened? Well, it happened because some people turned off their radio, didn't check the mail, didn't open it, didn't give it. So now we are seeing that it happened because of human beings who lost their humanity. And we are right back there. This country has lost its humanity. I really just have to say it. America has lost its humanity. We are going to be dealing with wrench feet and Kevin McCarthy, who is probably the weakest human being you could ever look at. I can't even believe he can get that every day.
Yeah, and somebody called me a Nazi the other day.
What?
Okay.
What?
Yeah. One of their
right.
people
You were called a
Nazi.
Nazi. Oh, great. They're so
Yeah,
stupid.
I was called
so
Nazi the other day because I pointed out the fact that free speech isn't free, and when you use the N word, it's the person on the other side of that word that has to pay for it. So
Right.
I got called a Nazi. That's the tweet that Elon Musk liked when that person called me a Nazi, just so everyone knows. But I realized with these people, first of all, there's no rationalizing with these people.
No.
And when you have a population of irrational people, they feed off each other. So what do? They vote for the most irrational people ever. We know what Jim Jordan is like. Jim Jordan's like a little chihuahua nipping at the heels of America. We know that the fact that he's going to be a chair of either the judicial or oversight committee, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be the chair of the other one, just because they voted for Kevin McCarthy. This is, I mean, Jill's right. We are going off the rails. I swear, this 2 years is going to be something. We thought that 4 years with Trump was something, but this 2 years is going to be something else with him running and them and their nonsense.
This is the horror movie where the part where they say you all need to leave town to go down, and somebody in the group, I don't think so. I think it's going to be fine. That's the Democrats. We're going to get it through. We're going to be.
You ever see that Geico commercial where there's the Geico commercial where there's like the axe murderer in the garage?
Yes.
And like, why don't we just run away in the running car? No,
exactly.
Let's go in the barn.
Yeah,
that's where we are.
And what's so amazing and interesting about what's happening is that they are counting on, these people will see, they will know, they don't want to be like the last people. No, you don't understand. This is like they've been on a mission tracking you, and they get you, and they're going to torture you.
Yes.
And just because you think they smiled or winked or there was a glimmer, or they don't have as many as there were when they started out. Oh, no, baby, don't ever. The problem with Democrats is they've underestimated the enemy every time. And I'm starting to get really into Democrat. I don't even know if I can say it. You know, I've gone back. I was independent for a minute, then I switched back. But I'm just a person now who is completely bewildered by this trust, no street smarts. You know, Corey, what's his face, came up the other day begging for Elizabeth Holmes to not be put in jail. It was like, what are you doing? These people are part of the problem. They also, when you talked about Elon Musk, you know, there was an article, and we're going to have to dive into this. Apparently, nerds and billionaires in the world have decided that they should populate the world with smart people. And that's why Elon had a baby with an employee, because she was a smart programmer. And this is going on, by the way. It is something that is really weird. And they feel like that. So when we're talking about classism and class warfare here, that's what this is. I'm not going to defend any not Democrat billionaire. I'm not going to. And I'm not going to, with these Democrats who are acting all weak, and Claire McCaskill always like trying to put cream in the cup. And it's like, girl, stop it. I've seen enough of your kitchen.
Lost.
Yeah.
Don't forget you lost, Claire.
We're going to move on. We're going to move on.
Yeah.
We're going to move on.
Who doesn't even live in St. Louis?
We're going to move on. Next up, well, since we've now seen that Nancy Pelosi announces that she will step down as party leader in the House of Representatives, what are your thoughts?
Well deserved. Listen, I don't like everything that the woman did. Come on, let's be honest. I don't like. Who can say that somebody really loves 100% of the time what a politician does? But this lady well earned this. Okay, she did step in. She did her thing, and she showed her leadership like no other person up in that place. Okay, and I don't blame her. When somebody is coming to my house to kill me, and you put a hole in my husband's head, it's time for me to step down. Y'all people are crazy, and I'm not. I can't do it.
Yeah, she's like, I'm happy to be a rank and file at this point. out. But I like the fact that the leadership that they are trying to put in place looks more like America.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I mean, I'm still confused why progressives are so up in arms and in their feelings about Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah. Like they have only been there.
We knew in 2018 she was grooming him to take that place because she said it. She said
and
it.
These girls have been here a hot skip in a minute. They're really, I mean, seriously.
I'm sorry, Katie Porter does not need to be Speaker of the House.
No, and neither does Rochelle Tlaib or whatever her name is. I've already forgotten it. No. And, you know, they've all been a little quiet lately, don't you think?
Yeah. And Hakeem Jeffries is a really good choice. I mean, the man doesn't hold his tongue. He's in the Progressive Caucus. And that's one of the reasons that they don't like him is because he doesn't hold his tongue.
No.
He's always holding them accountable. You want to do X, Y, and Z? Where's your bill?
Exactly.
Well, there's exactly what we need.
And they have not been writing bills.
Nope.
Them too. It's like just coasting on a dream. It's like, girls, get it together now.
A whiteboard is not a bill.
No. And Katie almost lost. So that if that wasn't proof enough that, you know, no. They're trying to say that they want her to take Dianne Feinstein's place, but that's not going to happen either because these are districts which are really important. Katie Porter lives all the way in Orange County. Okay.
Right.
First of all, move. Orange County is red. It is red. End of story.
Yeah, I think she forgot that she flipped a red seat.
She forgot. None of us did. Yeah, it was like, girlfriend, you know, don't even. Although they did spruce her up on one of those campaign ads, guys, she looked fabulous. They cut her hair and she looked really good. But she raises her kid out there, sends him to school. And you want to give her Dianne Feinstein and put her in an urban environment, which no, she's the wrong one for that. That's not what that location needs either, you know, and they got to stop it. Okay. I mean, Dianne, seriously, I believe we've all said, why is she still around? She's sitting there pretty. This whole thing going down, Nancy, however this is going to play out, they're not doing that blindly. They do know how to hedge that. The problem is, I don't know. I think they don't know how to communicate with us. They don't know what it is.
But I think Hakeem Jeffries is a good choice because
he's from my old
no one else really has the spine to stand up to a Kevin McCarthy.
Thank you. But like really stand up
and to handle him.
He's from Brooklyn. Hakeem is from Brooklyn, from where I lived. Okay, you're gonna stand up if you lived in that neighborhood, and even stand up at the subway or you know with the rats on the platform. No, it's actually a fabulous place. It is so cosmopolitan to live in that neighborhood now, and he's perfect for it. Perfect.
Yeah, it's an excellent choice.
It's Letitia James's old district too.
Yeah, and so I don't understand the need for the drama. This is actually the last thing Democrats need to be doing when. Look, put it this way: who we put in as speaker matters because they have to counter the bull on the right. And I'm sorry, but Katie Porter would end up crying.
Oh yeah,
Kevin would make her cry
every day.
AOC wouldn't.
She couldn't deal with Kevin here.
AOC wouldn't get anything done, and do what? She'll legislate on Twitter because she doesn't
can't even deal with
him
here. Yeah, exactly. She needs to put up or shut up, you know, at this point, her too, because she did get through in her district, but nobody had really been messing with her numbers up there. But
the only bill I've seen that she's put through was co-sponsored by Ted Cruz. So that tells you everything you need to know.
God.
And it was for term limits.
Exactly.
For the House and Senate, which
it's perfectly meaningless though. It'll never get through.
She partnered with Ted Cruz. The reason it didn't go anywhere, because you partnered with Ted Cruz.
Exactly.
Ted Cruz did everything he could to kill it.
Of course, he ain't going to want to be kicked out. That's all.
You're right.
Voting against yourself.
And that to me was strategically revealed. How I was a little like, why are you doing this? She thought she could play him, and he played her.
Yep.
She got nothing. So all she got was engaged to a husband or to a potential boyfriend, and she's securing her life. You know, these people. These young women will be able to walk away, have their children, have their babies, freeze their eggs, whatever.
Yeah, I don't
while
see
the
her
rest
being in
of
the house that
all the
long.
young women in our country are struggling for things, and they lend their voices and their mouthpiece no better than, any other person sitting on social media. It's like ridiculous. These are our, Congress people. And sometimes it's kind of I'm ashamed of all of them.
I don't see her.
They have
staying
no
in the house
authority.
that long.
They command no authority. None. They walk in a room and it's like, nobody respects them.
But I
Not the
think
young
she'll try
people
and
until they
challenge
earn it.
Kirsten Gillibrand, though, for Senate, and she will lose horribly. People love Kirsten.
I can't stand Kirsten after what she did with Al Franken. Personally, I'll never get over
New
that.
Yorkers like her.
And they do, because there's a ton of women who are just like nasty Kirsten Gillibrand, who plays both ends against the middle. And if she were Republican, she'd be voting just the way all the other Karens are.
Yeah. Wasn't she the first woman or the first one to drop out the presidential?
Yes, she was, because I'm sorry, what she did was pretty unforgivable. That was wrong. All because she was going to tout that Me Too. Believe the women first. It was like, believe me, if you work in a troupe or a comedy troupe or actors or any kind of theater, this is nothing, because I don't like people who take trivial situations and call it harassment. Trivial things. I've seen more seductive. Well, I've heard language that alludes to things that's so blue, and people are just, the only reason they don't talk about it and get all miffed about it is because they're too stupid to understand it.
And it's really odd that she's actually in the Senate. Remember that she took what was Hillary Clinton's seat.
Mm-hmm. She did, and she's been skating for a long time. And what has she been doing? Please tell.
Nothing. And
nothing.
But I say that, Nancy Pelosi stepping down and bringing the rest of the leadership down with her, Clyburn and Steny Hoyer.
Yes,
amazing. All those octogenarians saying, "Hey, guess what? We're kind of done. Time for new leadership." It was a brilliant plan. You know why? Because they're putting in people that don't have the baggage that they have. That's why you don't need a Katie Porter or AOC or any of them in that seat. These people don't have the baggage, so the Republicans don't know what to come at them with.
That's right. That's right.
And you got to lay that foundation.
Game plan. They don't know what to do.
So true.
Yeah. They don't know, and they're going to get a rude awakening.
They will.
It's like putting together a good soccer team. It's so funny. Guys know that I love Liverpool. So when you have any team, even with Real Madrid or whatever you like, there's a point where all of your players, they peak at the same time. We saw that in like the World Cup. You're like, oh my God, Germany just like knocked out all these people. Boom, 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 boom. But that was the peak of all their players. So then there's a point where, okay, they got to get the young ones again, and they got to season them. And you got to step back for a minute, sit back in the cut, groom, spice it up, get it together, and then bam. Then that's why this was so brilliant, what they're doing. It's putting together a new team, and Hakeem is the man.
He sat what was a few days ago calling Clarence Thomas a hater.
Yes, he did.
He said, "Why are you such a hater?" And then he laid that argument out. You want to talk to someone about it? Talk to your wife. Talk to Ginny Thomas and see what she did. And then he called him out. You're a hater on marriage equality, on Black people, on immigrants, on this, on that. I mean, he is right for the job. He's right for the job.
And I think it's really important that they expose, like sometimes I know everybody's like wants to be generic friendly. Like, okay, a woman should have this and a man should do, but in real life, we have energies. There's Shakti, there's Shiva energy in the way I have lived my life in that respect. You have the male and the female energy. I'm not going to get into the PC stuff, please, everybody. If anybody has any problems with it, just keep an open mind. But sometimes two like two women who have Shakti energy, they need to go head to head. But sometimes when there's two Shiva and there are two male forces, they need to address each other. It's really, the balance becomes a struggle. You need something sometimes quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah.
And having a man address another man constitution and uses it every day for toilet paper and has actually made our Supreme Court look like he's not the only one. There's a bunch of them. My God, we need someone who's fierce and did what he did. Like you said, he laid him out.
Yeah. And he drops the rap lyrics better than Ari Melber.
I know. But I love that they're that generation. They're like,
Yeah, but I love that comeback. Like someone posted an article from 2018 about AOC trying to primary him. Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
She just got elected, wasn't even in office, talking about paying for someone to primary him. And someone said, well, what do you think about that? Hakeem says, spread love, it's Brooklyn way.
Right.
So it's like he's very strategic. He knows when to say something. He knows when to sit back in the cut and watch things happen.
Yeah, totally.
Because sometimes two trains are gonna come at each other, and rather than trying to stop, you gotta let him hit. Just we're at this point right now.
You just said it.
Now that out of everything excites me. That's what I'm here for. That's what I want. I want to see that.
Sure, you have to let it happen.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's move it forward and we'll see how the leadership goes with King Jeffries. It sounds like all of you like his choice and like how he started off his run.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to one of Jill's favorite organizations, the Department of Justice, announces special counsel for 45 related Mar-a-Lago and January 6 criminal investigations.
Before she gets started, I just want to say, I was totally dismayed by this. Aisha has the breakdown on it. I need to be educated on it because I was not feeling what went down. I just was one of those people, sadly, who was like, they're never going to do it. He's never going to serve a day in jail. Nope. He will die he will drop dead before they finally get it together, which still could happen.
I was with you.
I get the reasons behind it. I get the reasons behind it, but it is exhausting watching Merrick Garland slow walk this thing. The reason behind it is because he doesn't want to be seen as doing Biden's bidding or for it to come back to Biden. So, and also so that Donald Trump can't, try to go to the court and say,
but don't they have law books? These are laws, Aisha.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's insane. In the special counsel, someone was telling me that he only takes cases that he's going to do an indictment for.
That's what I keep hearing. But
that's what I keep hearing. But my thing is this: Merrick Garland has sat for 2 years. How much damn investigating do you need to do? All the information that there's stuff that but there's a lot of stuff that's out there in the public already. Slap some handcuffs on this man and worry about the politics later.
We all got the proof right now. We can go walk up to his office right now and say, do something. We
just might as well just go into a citizen's arrest at this point.
We know that they have said Lawrence Tribe has gone on and quoted what the laws he broke are.
Yeah.
So for Merrick Garland to do absolutely is unacceptable to me. I will never understand it other than to say what I have been saying a long time. He's not the meticulous man. He's messy. He's just the messy man because how he's doing this, in my opinion, is pretty. I don't see meticulousness at all. I see a mess. You're bringing in another person now. Too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen. Ain't nothing turn out right. I'm telling you all, this is going to turn into nothing.
It's
Democrats are always 5 steps ahead. They've already, you sent me that thing that said that Robert, or what is it, Jack, whoever the guy from The Hague or whatever, for Milosevic. That was a long time ago. There have been many other people they could have tried too, and they haven't done it.
You know,
but yeah.
Someone did this breakdown the other day. I think it was Thursday. Thursday was the day that they announced it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think someone did this breakdown and said, you know what? If for nothing else, if you don't, let the January 6th thing still investigate that. For nothing else, the fact that he took those classified documents and listed all the people who were arrested because they took classified documents. He mentioned Reality Winner. That's why she went to jail for 5 years. Because she took, even though she did a public good, she still took the documents. So that's why they put her.
But she should sue the United States government, because the truth is
there
that
are a lot of
because the truth is that
going down the list of people
Trump took classified. Yeah, exactly. They should all sue the U.S. government. Yeah, and I hope they do.
And they didn't take a whole lot of things. Somebody took like one piece of paper.
Yeah,
and it was inadvertent and got arrested. Donald Trump took thousands of documents.
They wave your hand over. It's now declassified.
But that isn't the process. The process really is that there should have been paperwork to back up that happened. And everybody keeps forgetting that.
Guess what? It's an even bigger point, Jill. Even if he declassified them, he still is not allowed to take them. That is
exactly.
The law.
I agree.
You're not allowed to have them. You're supposed to take them in a skiff. The people take it. They have it chained in a briefcase, and they burn it.
Apparently, Merrick Garland doesn't have a book on what the laws of America are. He doesn't know what the clearly, because I'm like, can somebody send script sheets or something? Because this is really
anytime that it's pretty ridiculous, because the only time that he speaks up and says something is when people attack him. What about the country?
I know.
But we can say that about everybody we talk about.
People are attacking the country.
The country doesn't matter anymore, because I told y'all
our country's frozen. Our country is frozen
all the way down. It's gonna be and then we're gonna have to crawl up out of the freaking ashes.
It's so scary because we have so many moving parts at the same time. We've got abortion, we've got young people, we've got children being born, we have people not having a place to live, we have people trying to keep up with what's going on in Canada with euthanasia, because the reality is people have nowhere to go here. And they were talking the other day somewhere, they would rather have the right to go and take their own lives so they don't have to live on the streets in America. This is where we are. It's disgusting and it's vile. And Merrick Garland is and he is in on it. He's in on it. I'm sorry. He's the same as them. So
and have Trump arrested.
So was that other Mueller or whatever that got played once.
And I said this on Twitter, but I would have him arrested for murder, because if Jill and say I told Jill, we're going to go to this place. I want you to go inside and get something I left. Yeah. Jill decides when she's in there, she's going to rob the place and kill someone. And I'm sitting in the car. I get arrested for murder.
Right.
Felony murder, because I brought her there.
Right.
That's the law.
Exactly.
Donald Trump brought those people to the Capitol. People were killed. That is depraved indifference. That is murder.
Yep.
He needs to be arrested for that. You really want to do something, Merrick? Shock.
Yeah.
You arrest him for murder. And guess what? If he's being arrested for murder on murder charges, what can he do?
That's why on German news they were laughing. They were saying, "Oh, it's so funny," because they were doing that whole thing. He doesn't want to seem like it's partisan. And some German, their philosopher, whatever, it was like, don't they have laws? Like, there are laws that he legitimately broke. And so you have a DOJ who basically French TV is saying he's got to be in on it. He's a Republican. They're ripping Merrick Garland apart in other countries because they're seeing something that our own media is not talking about. And it's like, okay, you've been a Republican your whole life. So was Mueller. and all of that. They are protecting the concept of the presidency. But the reality is they are in cahoots with the whole, because there's no way. Why would this man, risk his whole
I
reputation?
think he's sabotaging on purpose.
He totally
I think
is.
he's sabotaging on purpose.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
It's like
Why
I
are
think
you
he
doing
I
this?
think he resents the fact that this was his consolation prize when he should
Scorpio,
when he felt like he should have
vengeance,
been
retribution.
on the Supreme Court. But, I'm gonna throw a wrench into the whole thing. That's
He's not
what it
friends
feels
with
like.
Joe Biden. Let's be honest. He was investigating Hunter Biden before he was investigating Donald Trump.
Right.
This is why people don't vote anymore, guys.
No.
This is why they don't believe in our government, because the checks
Joe
and the balances are not there.
Joe Biden needs to do the smart thing right now.
And thank you.
And get rid of him. And
Yeah.
there's a deputy.
Yeah.
They can be interim. Remember, we had all we had with Donald Trump were interim
yes, that's
AGs.
right.
So
that's it.
So he can do it. And I think that's the first thing that he needs to do. It would show a lot of good faith, and people will respond in 2024.
They're so out of touch. It's like, honestly, there's nothing that the guy from The Hague can do. The Hague went from like 30 years ago. You all dragged up Mueller the other time, and there were laws in there that they said Trump broke then. But of course, the statutes ran out on some of those
It was
things.
in the report, remember? And they there. Yeah, Mueller sat there.
That we spent.
Yeah, but remember, Mueller sat there, let Barr reconstruct what was actually in the report, and said nothing.
Girl, that was so embarrassing. I actually think I cringed, because you guys know I was so into Mueller. Like, yes. I'll never fall for it again, because that man rolled up there like he didn't know what his.
Yep.
Damn, that was embarrassing.
It's all this is backdoor dealings.
Yeah, it was like he's only been there 100 years.
Always will be, and that's the problem. And this is where I feel so frustrated on everything. And this is why I've had to step back, especially in these last few months. This is my outlet. Here, I've got to let it out somewhere, else I'm going to go freaking crazy.
Me too.
There are many times where I have had to I got to turn it off, because who is it hurting? It's hurting me, because nothing is being done. So why am I wasting my time trying to get up over?
How is it hurting us? You made a great question. We had corporations basically making us pay. They've been holding our country hostage. They are extorting oil and everything over the people, over us, regular people.
And then they buy political offices to do the same thing.
And then they go and have some like,
say, please, sir, can I have some more money so I can fight for you?
Thank you. It's like, oh,
I know, exactly.
So sick of it. And so I'm done.
Get a zen somewhere.
Okay, we're done on this one. There's some people that just take this conversation to the next level. Merrick Garland, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's some people that just like take you guys to a whole different level. So when DOJ, and I said, oh, we're putting this story up, I go, Jill is so ready. That is like one of her top 10s. I think that would make a great wedding. Merrick and Marjorie. That'd be a great couple.
I thought you were going to say me and Merrick. I'm keep coming down there.
No.
Well, you know, she is getting divorced. You
Yeah,
know, she is getting divorced. You would think that a woman going through a divorce with however many children she has would be more concerned about how her kids are going to get through the divorce than she is on impeaching Joe Biden.
Girl,
but she's not.
She wanted to be the next
Got
talent star. She don't care.
Militant Neanderthal Barbie. That's why I call her.
I know.
All right, let's move forward. Another favorite name. Well,
I can't stand
Twitter closes offices Monday as employees quit in droves. This has gotten so cray-cray. This has got so cray-cray.
I was going to ask for a job. I think we should all ask for jobs. Seize the day.
Somebody said anybody can put Twitter on the daggone resume now. Ain't nobody gonna know.
It's so funny. I think that we're really this is really sad. This is such mockery of who we are.
And he knows
we are no longer that. It's bad.
But he knows he's messing up, because what is the first thing that he's doing? He's going and begging the people that he fired to come back, because he realized, I don't know anything about programming. But
I don't know, why would they quit? They make enough money to have a savings, because they don't need, money from unemployment, because they won't get it for quitting.
No, but he cut all the remote work.
Yeah.
Well, that if you're cut, but if you quit, you don't get unemployment.
No, but I think, he gave them 3 months severance. Remember that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that sometimes your own peace of mind is what you need more than that paycheck at the time. And working 18, he had them working 18 hours a day for 6 days straight. That would burn
very Saudi. It's very Saudi labor laws, Let's not forget that. As well as the fact that they like that's
and then firing people on the spot because they're falling asleep at the office.
Companies
and let them go home.
Right.
Take pieces of it. That's what they do.
I mean, this was the same playbook about that one little company I told y'all I worked for that was a live streaming company. And I was the one who was the community manager. And I was so excited. Oh my God, I was so excited because I love live streaming. And I got in there and it was the worst job. It was the exact playbook that Eliana is doing now. No. I was working 24 hours a day because the company was based in China. So when they were up and I was supposed to be asleep, I needed to be up to talk to them. I needed to monitor 24/7 who wants to work 48 hours in a 24-hour period and expect to have any quality of life. I applaud them for leaving.
Because they sold us off. This is the problem. We keep letting these established people come in. They're not American. Elon is South African, Canadian. The Saudis control our banks, now our leisure. They'll have access to our data, which is China as well with TikTok has all but basically given all of our young people and old people actually a lobotomy. So we have all these serious problems going on. But the other day the Chinese there was a video that came out about them pursuing the long game. Did you guys see that?
No.
And they're going to pursue the long game. It was one of their government officials. Because we know how severe long COVID is, and the people in the West don't, and we will win ultimately because they will be sick and feeble, and they won't make it. And there are more of us. That was a trip. That is the crazy. We will continue with our lockdowns because our rationale is we know what the effects of long COVID, what it can do. And so they are hedging their bets by 2035 or actually 20 years from now, whenever that is, right? They plan to be on top globally, everywhere. That's their goal.
And Elon Musk is
that was at the G7. That was a speech given.
And Elon Musk is a punk because he sat there all day yesterday asking people, should I let Donald Trump back? Should I not? What should I do next? Who should I let back? You knew you were going to do this. You knew you were going to do it. Why put it out there? And people, be careful with your Twitter accounts. If you can, delete your DMs afterwards. He's watching everything. Like I said, I think I said it earlier in this show, but I said it definitely in the pre-show that I have him blocked. I cannot see anything that he posts. However, he sees everything that I post. He sees people responding to me. And I know this because I check their likes and he's one of them. Right. And and he's liking things that are blatantly racist, blatantly misogynistic.
It's off on all of this.
Yes,
That's his
he
thing.
is
At
an
night,
evil
that's what
little
he does.
troll.
Trump being up on the toilet at 3:00 in the morning making tweets. He's back there reading everything that we're doing and getting off on it.
Actually, I
Well,
knew
that's
of
why-
another
no,
CEO
that's
who
why he
used to
bought
do
Twitter, though,
that.
remember?
I knew of another CEO of a big company, and he would have meetings with people, and he got off when he was on the toilet and talking to the team. It was
But you
the
know,
weirdest, and we all sat there and took that. Unbelievable, right? Shocking. You'd hear it
yeah,
flush, all of it. It was
and
so. I wish I could say his name, but I can't.
but he bought Twitter because people were dragging him for filth.
Exactly.
And he wants to control. You're not going to talk about me. I'll make sure you can't talk anything bad about me. And then he starts suspending people if they say something. His little hurt man feelings.
He's a Cancerian. Cancerian men are a little bit like that. Sorry,
walks
that's
around
why
here-
I don't
They
advise
look at
dating
all
them.
the other
No,
idiots
but he
out
walks
there, too.
around. I mean, he's trolling Twitter with this LDE and little D energy. And he's just bullying people. And at some point, this needs to blow up in his face.
I
Big
think
time.
it will. I think it will.
Give it
I really
time.
do. I would love to see it, but then again, once again, I thought Mueller was going to
Well,
do something.
closing the,
I know,
office,
me
closing
too.
the offices is a sign that he's desperate. But opening them Monday is going to be interesting. The reason why, it's Thanksgiving week.
Yes.
It's going to come back after you shut the offices down.
Oh, there's always a company
They
man
said
in
the last
there.
black person that worked there was fired the other day, and they're like, and
But
that
you
person,
didn't see this. The thing, there was a disclaimer underneath that came from Twitter that he never
What is
worked there. Didn't work there. This person has given themselves a title and now has started a GoFundMe. So then there's that. People starting GoFundMe saying that they worked at Twitter. It's a real mess. It's just that, bored billionaires. This is like having Richie Rich,
What does
from
he care? Go home too. He doesn't care about anybody, and nor because, like you said, he's got the little D syndrome, just like all the rest of these billionaires trying to race to space and all.
But he doesn't know coding, which is really funny. I mean, everybody is like, he doesn't know coding the way, that's something you got to stay up on, I guess. Anyway,
it would be nice actually. Look, it'd be nice actually if everybody quit and he had to try and figure out how to do the coding himself on his little gold toilet from his phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this story is going to continue for a while, obviously, and we'll see what happens.
Everybody's making their Twitter goodbyes.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I don't think it's. I still think it has time.
I'm here until it die. Okay.
I still think there's going to be some legs to this story. I think we'll see. It'll be very interesting, as you said, Aisha, what happens on Monday.
Right.
It's going to be a very, very, very interesting day.
But there's a thing about him having all those investors that are Saudis and from China and all that, because any other investor would probably look at all this stuff happening in a span of 2 weeks and be like, I'm calling in my loan.
But they didn't.
I want my money back.
But they didn't.
Won't, because they have a vested interest in causing chaos in our country.
Because they want to destroy the West. They all do.
Yeah. They're chaos agents.
I think people have forgotten that, no matter what the horrible things that America has done in its past, these countries do horrible things too. It's equal. It is, imperialistic, colonialism, whatever. We're still in colonial times if you don't see the imperialistic things that are going on. It's very, TikTok, Twitter, all of that is colonialism. It's still, you're being programmed, all of it. It didn't go away. The model hasn't really changed. No. So, stop it. These people are still, you got to sit and wonder why our country is allowing these types of relationships to exist where there's not even one real American on these boards in this game. This is wrong. And back in the day, I can tell you in the 50s, allowed, especially after like dealing with Russia and all of that,
in the
It's like,
McCarthy
who
hearings,
are we?
please.
Who sold
Yeah.
America and forgot to tell everybody? Because now it's just a hoe. It's just a hoe in itself everywhere. Everybody's a hoe. Okay. It's like, that's not it. These are agreements that they need to be reported. They need to be investigated. These are relationships that are nefarious, and they are probably trying to uproot things. Companies, I wouldn't feel safe if I was, why would you be on Twitter at this point? Old school of advertising.
I know
Fuck
Elon's
that.
he's breaking some laws. The FCC really needs to
Absolutely
investigate,
going in,
because
looking at.
I'm sure he's violated a whole lot of things. And the mistake that I think one of the mistakes that Democrats made when they were trying to do the whole thing with holding Twitter and Facebook accountable was they dropped the ball. So what if the Republicans don't vote with you?
Because
Put those
they're on the
regulations
board.
in place.
Because
those
they're
regulations
they're getting benefit from being on those boards. And it's disgusting because, Elon Musk testified here for his trial with his labor situation with the Tesla stuff here. And all they're going to do is continue to put this in the court systems, which the court system should have, there should just be a level at some point where it's like, okay, this is it. And the most that America can give you is to put a woman in jail like they did Martha Stewart.
Right.
That's when that they never plan to put any men in jail, not in America, or deport them if you don't like
it. I wish there was have you ever seen the show Leverage?
Yes, I remember that show.
They're a team of bad guys gone good. They're like they do the Peter Pan thing. There's that one episode where the guy is he's really a greedy corporate guy, and they trick him, and he's sitting there at the computer trying to check his bank account, and sees as it's going down to zero. They drained all the money out of his account, and they gave it to the people that he treated badly. And he was just, going. I would like to see that happen to Elon Musk.
Well, it would have happened had they just stopped messing with the market. They don't let things happen holistically. The reality is companies should fail because they don't have. We shouldn't have to bail everybody out. You don't bail me out. You don't bail you out. So care if your company, if it's, Ring Ding or whatever, you go under, let it fall like the Great Depression did. People survived it. We'll make it. We're scrappy now. We know the deal. People need to experience those rich people need to see it, but they never will. No. Because what they've done is they bought themselves their way into our governments, and it's never going to be where they're going to freak out because they lost all their money. That will never happen. They will not.
But it's like we haven't learned anything. Didn't we learn from the
slaves never do. We are slaves.
From the auto bailout, and then the airline bailout.
But we're the slaves. We're the people paying the price, not them. We are slaves. We work for them.
The mortgage industry, guys, is happening.
Absolutely.
They're starting to do the loans again that were crooked in the first place, and they keep saying
they took away the regulations
there. Bull, they're doing it again. I got several inboxes yesterday talking about just sign the loan and we'll get it to you. No, that's what got us in trouble in the first place. But no, we're never going back to 2007. Watch it. It's coming.
I agree.
We the people are paying for it. And what's sick is that there are people who voted for these people to be in office, and
they think they're going to make their billion. They think they're going to be something.
Yeah. They think that one day I'm going to win the lottery, and I don't want the taxes.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Right.
Aisha.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on. This is getting crazy. So, and look who has arrived late but still here. Jen is in the house. Jen is in the house. All right, let's go. Let's go there next call. And this, I wasn't aware of this story until just today. Shanquella Robinson.
I have literally cried over this.
Me too.
Horrible.
Those claimed that they were her friends. I'm going to tell you right now from the very beginning, I'm going to speak from experience, okay? You got people who hate on you and smile in your face. They had it in for that girl from the very beginning. They took her into her folds as a friend, and the minute they got her away into herself, they killed her. They knew what they were going to do, and the fact that they filmed it proves it. You cannot tell me that that girl really thought that they were good, oh, these are my good friends. You would have told you a million, oh no, they would never do anything to hurt me. I can guarantee you that. But the minute they took that girl overseas, this is what
they lured her out of the country to kill her. They killed her within minutes of being there.
So, okay,
the first
hold
day
on.
they got there.
So for people who are not aware of this story, can someone give some background in regard to this story? Maybe Aisha, someone who's followed and get us all up to speed.
Yeah, sure. A young lady went missing in Mexico, and it turns out that her friends lured her to Mexico, saying that we're going on a friend trip, and they one of the girls beat her to death while somebody else filmed it. When her mother, they came back to the country without her and told her mother that they didn't know what happened to her. Maybe she got sick or something.
Alcohol.
I mean, blatantly lied to her mother, and it just so happened, I think that it was one of the maids in the hotel found her. She's naked. They beat her to death naked and left her there
with a broken neck and a cracked
spine.
And didn't they spend and they stayed in, what kills me is that they stayed in the room with her dead body for 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
While someone was filming it saying, fight back. Why won't you fight back? And you hear her saying, stop. My heart, woo, I'm feeling it right now. I'm just ready to cry. Who does this? They all need to be, I'm sorry, time for your death penalty.
I agree.
But before the death penalty, I would like to.
And they're African-American girls, which is why, after seeing and hearing about all the, deaths in the Black community and stuff, I'm so, when it goes unchallenged, and we've now spent over so many years now trying to make everybody a victim. Oh, it's so bad. This is so sad. Everybody needs, this is what you get. You start getting things. And I really feel like the Black community has lost its humanity. These are not decent human beings.
No.
Of these girls. And I feel that it's epidemic in the neighborhoods.
It reminds me of,
I wouldn't, honestly, and this is why white people look at Black people differently here.
You know what?
Sorry to say.
It reminds me of when I was in 4th grade. I was a safety patrol. Myself and one of my friends were asked to, we had to make sure everybody went back in from recess. So there was this one girl. I know more about her story now, and her issues had to do with her being molested, but that's no excuse. Me and the other girl went to tell her time to go, and she grabbed that girl by her ponytail, swung her around the pole for the swing set, and commenced to beating on her. I didn't know what to do, so I ran in the building and got the principal, got teachers, and brought a whole bunch of people up to come and stop this. Because I mean, it reminded me of that, and it just hurt me to my heart that this young lady, who she didn't do anything but go to hang out with people she thought were her friends, and paid for it with her life.
And
girls are known for this, though.
But it could have been a perceived thing by this girl who decided she wanted to beat her. All of them got together and had the meeting about what was going to happen. And maybe it could have been, maybe this other girl's boyfriend looked at her and she didn't like the way.
No, I guarantee you 100% it has to do with a man. I guarantee you.
I'm going to tell you that right now. This girl is dead for no reason.
I say, look, death penalty is not even good enough. I say line them all up at the firing range. And let's just do this, because the the lack of anything that they showed to her should not be shown to them.
Well, female jealousy is intense, guys, at that age too.
It is.
And even older age. We see it every day online. And what's happening is we're dehumanizing each other and things, you know, and we've also not holding people accountable. It's really crazy that it took so long for the FBI to get involved. They went crazy over that other girl who was lost in the woods with her boyfriend.
September, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, this is another shameful thing with the FBI. It's like they don't care about Black people here. They don't. But let's be honest too. There are Black people who work in the FBI too that if they should pay more attention to certain cases too that are going on in the community. Or I don't get it anymore.
And girls probably walk around
again,
with
it's sad.
each other's crowns.
They need to be in jail. They're going to go.
And the lack of coverage. Let's remember the lack of coverage by the media. Black women's lives do not matter because, like Jill said, with Gabby Petito, it was on the air 24/7. The mass shootings that happened 24/7. When the UVA shooting happened, because the victims were Black and the suspect was Black, they didn't even cut away and all day spend, even that entire day, spend all day focusing on that. But they've done it in other cases. Other mass shootings.
Story. And Dr. Vibe should not have had to just found out tonight. This is unacceptable.
No, and it's because the programmers that are running these news programs, if you notice, it's all really the same outline. It's really all the same stories, and they're owned by the same media companies. There's only like 4 now.
Corporate
it used
media.
to be 6. So the problem is they own all of them, the airwaves. So you're not going to hear it, which is why I'm really not going to watch mainstream media all that much anymore, because I'm not hearing what's going on in the world, and the stuff that I am hearing on repeat. There's so much news in the world. Why do I have to hear it over and over and over and over? Pay your reporters better to go get more stories. They'll do it on NPR now. I'm hearing repeat stories on NPR. It's like
word for word. That's the thing. It's word for word.
3 hours ago, go hire a staff of people, because all media is doing is programming to make us all crazy. Find a good story. I just got something today that told me a little dog was found. But things like this going on, we don't even have it where a hotel is like going when everybody checks out, or however where's the girl, or what happened?
Where are you checking in? Only 3 of you are coming out. Where's the 4th
I mean,
person?
I get it. Nobody cares anymore about anything. But all those, when she was too pretty to be hanged, that's another thing. Can we stop telling?
Honest with that.
I mean, honestly, we have gone so far now that we're not even allowed to tell. There was a reason people are ugly, because it keeps the whole checks and balances in order. They're not ugly on a whole where they never find anybody. There's always somebody to love somebody. But the reason that happens, whether it be, it's like animals when you have, it's checks and balances. Now everybody puts on a whole row of like false eyelashes.
Here's the thing. I bet you one of the first things that they said to each other, she thinks she's cute.
I know. Beautiful girl. She's stunning. Yeah.
Child, you just hit a vein, because I'm sick of that. Because that's the whole life of me. From the time I was in 1st grade. Oh, she thinks she cute. I ain't trying to think to be nothing. I don't even know what I am yet.
I know.
And I know that this is what they said to her. I know it.
And can we stop with all these murder shows? I'm like in the middle of watching MSNBC, and all of a sudden they're Oxygen. So-and-so went to a party and she never came back. All of this stuff are negative mantras. They are there to crazy. And also, we don't really need, remember how everybody was fawning over Jeffrey Dahmer? Like, are you real? So there's no programming of negativity. We got to stop it. We got to stop watching it
No,
and find better
I'll tell you this.
sources.
As someone who
Aisha,
watches some of
Aisha,
these
last
shows,
comment on this one.
as someone who watches some of these shows, I'll tell you, I prefer to watch the 2, ATL Homicide and Fatal Attraction on TV1, because they focus on finding justice for these people and they amplify stories that aren't being told about our people.
Right.
And I think we have to get, like Jill said, people have to stop. You got to stop watching and reading the corporate media. Every day I sit around, like in the evening time, I sit and I look at news from everywhere. I get tired of the same old stories. So I'm like, what else is going on? Because this can't be the only thing going on in this country. And you learn so much more that way. You become so much more informed that way. And because people don't, and they're so uninformed, so ill-informed, they go on social media places like Twitter and think they know stuff that they know nothing about, and get surprised when people are like, you're wrong. Well, I read it on Breitbart, so it's true. Exactly.
All right. Well, let's move on. We've got our final conversation piece, and Jill wanted to talk about this. Elizabeth Holmes sentenced for more than 11 years for fraud. So, Jill, give us the backstory.
Just 3 months more. Just 11 years and 3 months. So it's not a lot more. She should have gotten the 15.
Yeah. So she had that company. Was it Theranos or Toronto? How do you pronounce it? And she and her boyfriend, who's Indian, and I guarantee he's going to get more than 11 years because he's a brown person. They came up with this plan where they basically ripped off all these billionaires. They all invested because it was supposed to be a company that could take your blood and give you a whole panel of your whole life, like everything you need, whatever.
Just 1 drop of blood.
With 1 drop of blood. And so, wow, how stupid were they? I mean, it's an amazing thing. If anybody could do it, but nobody, really? So anyway, they all lost money. So don't mess with billionaires when they lose their money, because they all get mad and they want to see somebody punished. That just happened with the FTX thing going on with the cryptocurrency. You've got a bunch of
we won't even get. So maybe we'll touch that one next.
It's the same, but it's the same type of concept. So anyway, Elizabeth Holmes, who talked like this, and she was, just
that's not even her real voice. Have you heard her real voice?
Yes. So this woman basically hoodwinked everybody. She created this whole life for herself and basically stole all their money. And so they prosecuted her, and basically she was supposed to go in for longer, but she broke up with that boyfriend. She found another dude. She got pregnant really fast because I think she thought she wouldn't be serving jail if she was pregnant, and tried. But it didn't matter. I mean, I was surprised they even gave her 11 years because they were asking for 18 months.
I'm surprised they didn't handcuffs at the courthouse to put her in prison, because any one of us on this panel right here would have been, no, you can't say goodbye to your family. You're going to jail. You're going to have your baby in jail. They gave her till April.
Yeah. To have her baby.
To turn herself in.
Yeah, exactly.
Who does that?
America with white women, and with, unfortunately, that's what that is. It is really like really being flagged and flouted in our faces that they have the upper hand no matter what. And it's so funny when they put Martha Stewart in jail, because I'm a huge Martha Stewart lover. I love her. I think she's amazing. I also think Oprah Winfrey too. We will never have women like that again for a very long time. Women who really made marks, but they put her in jail because she was a woman.
She was a woman. There you go.
That was it. And so this one is not in the same sense of it, but she will be the only woman in this whole, and her Indian boyfriend, they'll go just because he's Indian. But the reality is, white men don't go to jail in America for white collar crimes. They don't, and they won't. They don't. And there is nothing that's going to change that.
Remember how little time Bernie Madoff spent in jail, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they made him, their fall guy for a minute, but that's because he burned them personally. See, that's the funny thing. when you. So that's how I know, like, oh, Bernie really got them. And in a really weird way, I kind of wish he hadn't had to go to jail. I wish he'd have kept on ripping those, because that's their whole thing.
Elizabeth Holmes asked for this. First of all, you don't know anything about science, and
she had no credentials, but they believed her.
Right, you're doing something that's not rooted in science. Somebody's going to find the fallacy in this and expose you. And it just happened that doctors found the fallacy. They're like, no, you can't do all that with one drop of blood. We need like a couple of tubes of blood in order to do all those things. Think about it. When you go to test, look, I went to get tested for something. My doctors wanted to send me to do a panel. They had to take 6 vials of blood, and I'm not, look, and I don't bleed well.
Yeah, but she was saying that she had machines that could do this, right? And then come find where the fraud fell apart is that they found out that she was using the German company Siemens machines, and it was a mess. There was nothing special. That's why it was legit, straight up fraud. And pretending that she didn't know anything, like, they all do that. It's craziness.
And remember, remember the machine that she used? She kept calling it a prototype, and people were like, "Well, where are the rest of them?"
Never. Like, I know it was the Siemens.
Well, they're in development right now, and
I know that's true. She did talk like that. So
and, I read that she talks like that because she thought it gave her. She did an interview where she said it made her have power, give her the same kind of power and authority as men.
It worked. Yeah, and also having blonde hair worked.
Okay,
because we know how those men are with all that.
Okay, Mr. Billionaire, at some point you'd want to invest in it. So, I mean, you got to question them too.
They like their blondes, but they like their side chick Latinas. Like they like that. That's the stereotypical Latina. And she's just so much fun. And the other one doing the who can't dance, Kimberly Guilfoyle. Like, you did not know your Puerto Rican side of your family for show. Please stop it, because they said her mother died when she was young. It was clear.
Remember, her parents were immigrants.
No, her dad was Irish, and her mother was from Puerto Rico, who died. So
he claims her mother is an immigrant. Puerto Ricans aren't immigrants; they're citizens. You bubbleheaded.
Exactly. Idiot. Whatever. She can't merengue. She can't salsa. She can't. And those.
There's a reason why Gavin divorced her.
Thank God he divorced her. I actually next time, if I ever got a chance to see Gavin, just say, "Thank God you got rid of that old cow." She's awful. And then she went out with some furniture heir. Like, seriously. And she just looks like she's. Ugh.
Okay. We done.
Sorry.
She's a case of plastic surgery gone bad, because they've been posting pictures of her when she actually had white skin.
Exactly.
and reddish hair when she was with Gavin, and now she's Latina fishing.
Yeah, Latina fishing.
We're done. We're done. We're done.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies, again. I knew it was going to be another entertaining conversation, and we didn't even get to the thing that's going on with FTX. We got to talk about that next week. That's a whole nother half an hour conversation.
Talk about y'all. That's a whole. Have you seen the girl who was the math wizard?
What I miss?
She looks like Mrs. Gooch from the Oz riding the bike. I'm not even. I hate to say it. Go check that. Yeah.
No, that we definitely got to talk about that, because that like, Tom Brady's involved, Shaquille O'Neal's involved. They're being sued.
Larry David.
All these people are being sued. Like, oh my goodness, that's a whole other
Giselle
conversation.
Bundchen.
Giselle, yes, everybody's going on there. So, oh boy, never a dull moment. But we survived another conversation.
Yes.
And so before we let everyone get some sleep or clearing out their ears or stop shaking their heads or putting their eyes over their heads or whatever, as always, we want to want to say a few things. So contact information. So first off, let's go to LaLa. Contact information.
You can find me on every social media platform under Realty Goddess.
All right, fantastic. Next up, Jill D. Jones.
Jill D. Jones on Twitter and Jill Jones Music at Instagram.
Wonderful. Aisha K. Staggers, who's on Twitter still. For
Yeah,
now.
at Aisha Staggers on Twitter. AISHASTAGGERS.
All right. And myself, if you want to get in touch with me, website, thedrvibeshow.com, email dr.vibe at drvibeshow.com, YouTube and Facebook, The Dr. Vibe Show, Twitter at drvibeshow, Instagram, The drvibeshow. Oh, Lala's back. I just put her on screen and now she's not back and everyone's back. All right. So you can watch replays of our epic conversations at these places: the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and the Dr. Vibe Show on the website. So, ladies, rock and roll show tonight. and I tell you, it was epic. It was epic. But I'm going to just put myself on screen because you guys have been too violent tonight for me. You got to put you in the back room. So, as always, what we want to do is this. Live your life as a dream. Oh, actually, I have a comment here. Someone has one last comment. Oh, Cinema, you just came on now? Oh, you're going to have to watch the replays. You're going to have to watch the replay of this, all right? So let's get to this now. So live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to be stronger. Block assumptions that aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. I know next weekend is Thanksgiving, long weekend in the U.S. If the ladies aren't on or they're putting down their dinner or relaxing, we'll run a little replay. But something tells me there's too much going on in the world for them to take a week off. So we'll see what happens. God bless. Peace, well, keep the faith, and walk good.